Yo guys, it's JJ here, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to make a beat for Lucki's new album, Sex, Money, Drugs, just released last Friday as of recording. And before we get into the video guys, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. We have just passed 1,000 subs. I've got a new kit on the way. Speaking of the kit, let's just roll the trailer. And there we have it folks, kit coming very soon. Dates will be announced very soon, but to keep up with all the news, subscribe, follow my Instagram, link in the description. And last but not least, excuse all the noise, I am not in my studio, so just respect the grind here. So jumping into the beat, the first thing you need to note is we are using an instance of Analog Lab 5, and the preset we are using is the Cadet preset. Excuse all the banging, there's construction going on. So looking at the MIDI down here, as you can see, I've just got myself a nice little chord progression going on. And as you can see from here, this note is just an inverted one. Then same applies pretty much here, except there's just, another inverted note, as we can just see, making use of them. This is the exact same chord as here. However, I just didn't pull the note back. I kept it simple. And then looking at the final chord progression, as we can see again over here, if I take this down a whole octave, it's another minor chord. So just playing with the inversions and all, keeping it very simple and straightforward. Copy and pasted the chords just a bunch of times to create this full 8-bar. And then last but not least, I clicked Alt-S to strum all my notes, and I clicked Alt-R to randomize the velocity, making it sound more human. Then the next thing I did was go onto the melody itself, click Quick Render as audio clip. Then I grab the audio clip, drag it into the actual, playlist, double click it, click reverse, and then as you can see, I go into the snipper tool, cut here, here, and here. And as you can see, I've cut it in these 4 segments because this is pretty much where it just loops over. Then I drag it to the back and I literally just copy and paste it 4 times to make a full 8-bar, keeping that chord progression back in its original pattern. Because when you reverse the melody, it just makes it sound different. So I had to rearrange it back to its original structure. And now, without further ado, this is what the main melody for Lucki's beat sounds like. And there we have it. Looking into the effects, the first thing I did was get an EQ and cut off all the lows. I did an instance of Soothe 2, just so I can make sure all the harsh frequencies just get compressed down. Some RC20, however, it's not showing up here, but I used the vinyl preset. And then last but not least, some Valhalla Vintage Verb, just to add some ambience and some reverb. And the next sound we have got is a preset from Analog Lab 5's bank called the Artillery Bank. And this bank was made by EZA, this guy over here, we all know him. And of course, Max Shooter 49. Super nice bass preset, use it just to fill off all the low ends. And as you can see from the pattern, all I do is just follow the root notes of the main chord progression that was played before. And without further ado, this is what the bass sounds like. And there we have it. Next up, I got myself another preset from Analog Lab 5, and the preset's called the ARP Moves T. As we can see, I just copy and paste the chord progression, remove all the transitional notes, just keeping it simple and straightforward, and then I take the whole progression and take it up a whole octave, just, so it's not too crowded within the same frequency range. And it's pretty much that straightforward. They didn't even bother randomizing the velocities, just kept it the same as the previous chord progression. And without further ado, this is what the ARP sounds like. And there we have it. The ARP's super dope, giving it a lot of movement, and I really like the sound that it has. To walk through the effects, the first thing I actually did was just put another EQ, cutting off all the lows. Grab myself a Fruity Delay 3, just give it that little ping pong effect as you guys could hear, giving that extra nice little bit of movement. And then last but not least, I got some Valhalla Vintage Verb. Again, just for some reverb, that ambience, that little spacey, wavy vibe that Lucki goes for. And then last but not least, I stereo separated the sound around 72%, just really widening it in the mix. And now for the final preset of the sample, I've got myself a preset called the Ambient Space Piano, coming of course from the Keyboards Bank in Omnisphere. It's a very nice spacey key, and as you can just see, the pattern's a very simple counter melody, playing it at the beginning over here, giving it a nice little cascading effect all the way back down into the beat. And that's all it is, just a rinse and repeat of this nice little 4-bar. And that's for the effects on the counter melody. I just got myself an EQ again, calling off all the lows, and then again some more reverb just to add that nice spacey feel. And last but not least, I stereo separated it around 40% just to widen it in the mix, giving it a nice little spacey feel for the whole, sound of the track. And without further ado, this is what the full sample sounds like. And there we have it. Before we get into the drums, bear in mind this whole sample was like my take on Lucki's kind of style, so that's all I need to say. And now into the drums. And the first thing, of course, is the clap pattern. Looking at it, it's essentially a very basic clap pattern, but I add these nice little 2 extra claps, giving it a bit of a bounce. And then for the hi-hat pattern, it's a very simple, straightforward one. It literally just repeats itself every 2 bar. And if we zoom in, go onto the magnet tool and click the 1/3 step. As you can see, I've got these nice little rolls going here using the 1/3 step from the magnet tool. Again, nice little bit of rolling here, same goes here. And then for the only bit of variation is, as you can see from this roll and this roll, I just add like 1 extra note in. And then I just copy and paste this whole 4-bar once more, making it a total of 8 bars. So without further ado, this is what the hi-hat alongside the clap sounds like. And there we have it. Next up, of course, we got ourselves the 808 and the kick, but looking at the 808 pattern, just following the root notes again of the very, very common chord progression being used. And all I do is just copy and paste this pattern literally from this 2-bar all over for the full 8. And then last but not least, and I really emphasize this in every video, max your velocities. The way you can do this is by clicking Control A, and as you can see, highlighting all the notes, then holding the scroll and then dragging it all the way up. As you can see, it maxes these out. And the reason I say this for your 808s and your kicks is because in hip hop production, you want your bass to really, really be hitting. It sounds more appealing to the artist, makes your mix sound just much harder, so I really recommend doing so. And as for the kick, as we can see, I am literally just using a nice simple pattern following the 808s the whole way through, with the velocities just maxed out. And without further ado, this is what the 808s and the kicks sound like. And there we have it. And now for the final 2 drum patterns, which is 2 different perks. First of all, we're starting off with this nice little rim shot. As you can see, repeats every 4-bar, has a bit of an unorthodox bounce, as you can see here, and here of course, but it just goes really, really well with the beat. And then last but not least, repeating itself every 4-bar yet again, a reversed open hat. As we can see, starts at the very beginning of the 4-bar, and all I do is copy and paste it over. So without further ado, this is what the full beat sounds like for Lucki's new album, Sex, Money, Drugs. And there we have it, folks. But before I wrap up this video, let me just walk you through the structure. First thing first, we're going to focus on the intro, which is a nice little 8-bar alongside the bass, then introduce the clap and the hi-hats, halfway through. And then looking at this highlighted part, we have ourselves the chorus, which is 16 bars, consisting of 2 8-bars. It's all my basic drums at the beginning with this nice little open hat and the main melody. And then for the second half, I introduce this nice little arp alongside the 2, rim shots that I had going on. And then looking at this highlighted section, it's the verse, which is 3 different 8-bars, making it a total of 24. And if we focus on this first part here, as you can see, I just start off with the main sample alongside the clap, the hi-hats, and just a kick, nothing else. But looking at the second 8-bar, I now introduce the bass alongside this nice keys and the reverse hat. Finally, for the third section in the verse, which is what I like to call the pre-hook, which is the part just before the hook of the song, I completely remove the main sample, leave the bass, the keys, the counter melody, everything from the sample, no drums, no main sample, just these little sections, letting it play in. And then of course, back again with the main chorus, back again with the same verse section. And then finally, we have the last chorus. But for a bit of variation, I use these nice little keys that we use in the verse section. And folks, that is the full video. I really hope you've enjoyed it, got a lot out of it. How to make a Lucki beat for Sex, Money, Drugs from JJ. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.